arrogant. I thought that I was humble, you know. They say when you shine and you grind that they afraid of that. You're so bright, you're so tight, and they be hating that. The top's so far from the bottom to be exact, but the bottom get you ready to fight for the top.
Okay, so welcome back to Soul Trust Podcast. We're back again with another episode. As you can tell, we're in the season of Halloween. We're in the spooky season.
I got my Barbie car. If you guys don't know, I am Barbie. Was it Racer Barbie?
You look like you're about to jump into a NASCAR.
Gas pedal, gas pedal.
So we're dressed for the occasion. It's Halloween season, and yeah, we had to pull up in the podcast dressed up. We're actually characters from one movie. Can you guys guess it before we give it away? So I am wearing the Pizza Planet gear, and she's obviously Barbie, and we're both in one movie. Can you guys guess? I had a hard time guessing because I was like, wait, what? Pizza Planet and Barbie. If you know, you know. If you don't, then you just don't. But all right, here it goes. We're both in Toy Story. Yeah. Barbie's in Toy Story.
Yeah, she's in Toy Story.
To my surprise, I had no idea. I was like, what? Barbie's in Toy Story? What the hell? And then I thought about it. I was like, well, she is a toy. So
yeah,
it does make sense.
And she's part of the story.
And I am from Toy Story too. I'm the pizza guy from
Pizza Planet. The delivery guy.
You can't find him. I tried to find him on Google and I couldn't find it. So I hope I look like him. I know I got the gear on. So I'm the pizza man. I'm the delivery guy. But yeah, here we are. Soul Trust Podcast.
And we are officially in the spooky vibes. I wanted to get a big old bowl of candy and just do the whole 9 yards, but this guy does not do candies.
Imagine I get a cavity randomly when I get old. Like, damn it.
And
I was close.
And shout out to all my silver tooth kids out there. Shout out to you.
You're like 5 years, already got like 3 cavities and shit. That's crazy. I'm like super against candy. For one, it's going to be a big old bill when you take your kids to the dentist. And I'm not really willing. I mean, not that I'm not willing because I will have to if I need to. But I prefer not to spend the money on some like cavity repairs. So if I could avoid it, I would. But it's Halloween. It's like impossible to keep candy away from kids. So I just try to do the best I can. There's one very important rule is no biting the candy.
And you got to brush your teeth.
Yeah, right after. Floss, brush it, everything. But yeah.
I feel like
Halloween's a tough season.
No, it's not tough.
It's a tough season to avoid cavities.
Yeah.
It's cavity season.
It's cavity season. Oh my God. Okay, so today we're going to do something a little more fun. I want it to be just fun and vibey. I want to kind of keep it in the Halloween trick-or-treat vibe. So what was your favorite Halloween? Did you grow up Halloween movies?
Halloween movies?
Did you guys grow up like watching movies, or was that a little like taboo for you guys?
What is my favorite Halloween movie? Okay. My absolute favorite Halloween movie has to be The Nightmare Before Christmas. That's just an OG classic. It never gets old. It's yeah. I would say The Nightmare Before Christmas is my all-time
Did you guys
favorite.
watch that as kids or more like in your adult life?
Both, I think, as kids and as an adult. So I would say Nightmare Before Christmas is that's like a Halloween and a Christmas movie. They nailed it with that. That's just like it just carries on to both seasons. It's a classic. I think that's like the fun side of Halloween. Scary wise, like what's like a good scary movie?
I like the Halloween movies.
Halloween, yeah. Like the scary side, yeah, it's different.
I grew up watching.
Are you scared? What's going on?
I thought I heard Michael Myers. Michael! No, I grew up watching like it.
Oh, it was creepy.
Yeah, it was creepy, but why was I so obsessed with it as kids? And then like all of my siblings and my mom, they're like, and my dad, they're like, you used to always make us watch those movies with you, and I don't know why you would want to watch them. I'm like, I don't know either. Why would you guys even put them on for me? I was so little. But we grew up watching like the goriest movies and like crazy movies, and then on top of that, we have to all go to sleep, and then they start fucking with us. They start scaring us. They start,
Halloween.
yeah.
Halloween vibes.
And then it would be funny because like I was always the most scared. I would always want to watch them, and I was always the most scared. So I would ask my sisters, like, can you come with me to the bathroom? Because I'm so scared. And they'd be like, no. I'm like, I'm going to pee myself. Like, come on, come with me. Like, I need you to go with me. And they would refuse sometimes. And they're like, fine, I have to go too. Let's go. And then I have to wait for them sometimes. And then I have to hurry up and go. And I remember one time my sister Alyssa, she's so petty. And so one time she's like, okay, but let me go to the bathroom first. And I'm like, okay, fine. Since she came with me, so I let her go first. She dips. She left me, and I had to use the restroom by myself. But I don't know if you guys did that or if that was just me. I was like
That's
chicken.
cold-blooded.
It was a little messy.
One of the movies that is just absolutely creepy, and it was like fun to watch, but it was creepy as hell. It was Jeepers Creepers. I don't know if you ever seen
I
that
never
one.
really remember that movie.
That one, like, if you seen it and you were a kid, that shit was just creepy.
Creepy out.
Yeah,
Creepy
I mean,
out.
the name says it all.
You know which one creeped me out? It was a cartoon, The Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, I used to like that.
That was so creepy.
It was
to
creepy.
Me.
It was weird, but it was
why?
it was pretty weird.
It was creepy.
Yeah, that was pretty weird. That was a weird cartoon. It was weird stuff, huh?
Yeah, but nothing like the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a family. So what would you say our favorite tradition to do for Halloween?
Trick or treating, covering pumpkins. I think that's like a big staple. Movie nights, of course, and driving around, finding decorations. I think that's like a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would pick trick-or-treating and driving around. Those are the two highlights for
Finding
Halloween.
those houses that go all out. There's a couple of houses that we've seen around the neighborhood that are like crazy decorated. They got like some big old skeletons. They got like smoke coming out. They got all kinds of like crazy stuff. Some people just go all out on Halloween and
Yeah.
Christmas, and we're on the search to find those houses. It's fun with the kids. I mean, it's like the best thing to do.
Okay, so I have a would you rather. Would you rather pass out candy and just like chill with a little party, a little friends, and passing out candy in a little neighborhood, or go around walking and trick-or-treating?
Shit, that's tough. Because I could see it being fun if you hang out and pass candy, but if you're scaring the crap out of kids,
This guy.
that'd be fun. I don't think we've ever, have you been able to do that before?
Yes,
I don't think I have, but I would love to do that.
it's fun.
When the time comes, I'm gonna go all out. Like, I'm gonna be that thing that would just be standing outside and be like, is that thing real or not? And then just out of nowhere,
Oh yeah.
scare the crap out of them.
Yeah, but you might get hit. You might get hit.
I'll be behind some bushes or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta be quick.
Well, you could do like a little subtle where it's nothing too crazy. It just creeps them out.
Like, hurrah. Just a little one.
Or you move slightly and they're just like, did it just move?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, when we came in, it was looking this way. Now it's looking that way.
I think that would be more fun. Just because I haven't tried it. So I think I would pick that. I would rather try that.
Yeah. For me, I think we've so many years like been trick-or-treating. It's been a while since I passed candy out and had like the whole vibe. But I would do it big. I would do a whole little candy board with a skeleton, like the guts of candy coming out. I would do little arts and craft for my kids, like a little kids table. I have a little adult moment over here. Um, like the drinks, the
It'd be-
mocktails.
It'd be cool having like a maze too.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then we both picked the same thing.
Yeah. It's because, like I said, for so many years, we've just went with the kids. It's been so kid friendly, like, which that is still kid friendly, but like to switch it up every so often, I think is nice too. So the kids, they're still having candy. They probably will have more core memories.
Oh, the kids will make the most of it. They'll
Yeah.
be dancing, bumping music.
Oh, yeah, the music.
And just passing out candy and then seeing all the costumes too. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a different vibe, but I think it's a fun option too.
Okay, so would you rather me or Barbie? Uh, answer me. I'm just kidding. Would you rather be a vampire or a werewolf?
A werewolf.
Oh, Raul.
Yeah, vampires are weird, and then you have to just
Suck blood all
yeah,
day.
it's like
It's a little messy.
yeah, it's
Okay, but okay, werewolves, they're like attacking flesh too.
that one's. I mean, to dress up as
No, like
a werewolf.
to become a
Maybe
vampire
maybe
or
a
a
vampire
werewolf?
because I think they live a long time.
I think you're more of a vampire guy. You're very clean cut. I don't see you being scruffy. You're very clean cut. You're very like suit and tie vampire.
Like an elegant vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would go with
With the
vampire.
Gucci. I'm just kidding.
I think I would go with the vampire
I don't know. I wouldn't want to do either.
because if you're a werewolf, you have to pick. You can't.
I know.
Because if you do werewolf, I mean, you're like all hairy and shit. You're a
Yeah.
werewolf.
Yeah. Okay, I'll pick vampire.
What you got next?
Okay. Okay, would you rather spend the night in a haunted house? Like a legit haunted house? Or a graveyard?
A graveyard. I think it'd just be more peaceful. Like a legit haunted house, no thanks. I'm cool on that. Like
Yeah.
you're just gonna be walking. Shit's gonna grab your
Ooh.
shoulder.
Yeah, your toes.
You're gonna open the door and you're gonna be somewhere else. Kinds of crazy shit. No, I think a cemetery.
Oh, and
It'd be
I
more peaceful.
also wanted to say, do you remember that one time
They're
in
both
band camp?
creepy.
I'm just kidding. Do you remember that one time we went to the Hollywood Cemetery and we watched The Exorcist?
Oh yeah.
That was wild. And then it was funny because everybody, when there would be like the crazy creepy parts, everybody would like laugh and cheer, like, yay. So they made it like not scary. Cause I remember I was like,
It was a vibe. Everyone was chilling.
Yeah.
They were all like picnic vibes and yeah. It's kind of like when people
and
go
it was in the
watch-
night too. It was in the night.
It's kind of like when people go watch the Dodger game. I mean, right now it's a different story because they're doing the World Series, but on a regular Dodger game, there's a lot of times where people go to the game and they're not even watching the game; they're just in the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when we went to go watch the movie, there was a lot of that. Like you'll watch the
They're
movie.
just talking, chilling,
I
like
don't-
hanging out. Yeah.
I think you would just turn around, watch the movie a little bit, and then you're just kind of vibing out, hanging out,
Yeah.
catching up. Yeah. So the cemetery experience was fun because, it was a unique experience. I mean, we're at the cemetery, but it wasn't as creepy as you thought it was gonna be. It was actually pretty chill. I wasn't really creeped
I
out.
thought it was
I-
going to be scarier than what it was.
It was more creepy walking into the cemetery, thinking about
Yeah.
the idea. But then once we were there, it wasn't as bad. So
Yeah.
that was chill.
Mm-hmm. Ready for the next question? Can you tell us a personal struggle that you went through and how you overcame it?
I'll keep it light. Keep it light and simple. I think when I was going into adulthood from a teenager to like an actual adult, I think the struggle was having to go to work every day. I think that was like a reality check, and that shit was a struggle because you start to realize the sacrifices of having to work and then being disciplined and missing out on like family activities and stuff like that. So that one's from a long time ago, but I remember going through that struggle of like, damn man, I gotta go to work, and then holding it down. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I held it down, and I learned a lot of discipline, and I was proud of myself of really being able to hold it together. Like I wasn't one of those like youngsters that would get a job and then quit. Like I was like, nah, I'm gonna hold it down. So I
And
held it
so how
down.
did you overcome it? Like what like shook it off for you?
I just took it a day at a time. You just take it a day at a time, and then I would just find ways to entertain myself. I think at my job, like I would find ways to enjoy it, entertain myself, or have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
And I think that's what helped me out. Just finding ways to entertain myself and enjoy the day, having something to look forward to. That was helpful.
Yeah, like your lunches,
Yeah, lunches is always something.
Maruchans. I'm just kidding. Hamburger
The
helpers.
lunches were not the thing back then.
Hey, I tried.
Now they are.
But you were picky. Anyways,
But I was hungry too.
one of the things that I struggled with and I overcame was becoming a mother. That was probably the hardest thing I had to overcome and adjust to because I no longer focused on myself. I had to focus on my child. It's important for a mom to protect her baby and to set boundaries with people around that baby. And if it's not, if it's not good, if it's not positive for your child or for you, you need to set boundaries, kind of push those people away, pull in people that you need support from.
What did you find being a struggle in that scenario? Like, was it the transition of becoming a mother?
Yeah, like
Or was
it's
it
such
everything?
I think it's such a beautiful, like being a first time mom. It's so beautiful. It's like kind of surreal. You have your little baby. You're kind of like in this like zone. And then when reality hits, like your kind of bubble gets popped. You're like, oh shit, 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 shit. Like this is real. This is real. It's not just about putting cute little clothes on your baby and making them smell good. It's like now you have to take them to the doctors. Now you have to, deal with all that comes with. Now you have to, you can't go out late at night because your baby's so fragile. So now you're not the social one,
There's a big shift in priorities and
yeah.
everything.
And then I overcame it by just like listening to my intuition, listening to myself. A lot of times I had to fight and be the voice for my daughter. Even though it didn't make sense to everyone else, I was that voice for her. And yeah, just kind of taking it, just day by day and just one problem after another, figuring out how I was going to solve it. But that was really tough, entering motherhood.
I think that's super relatable, even with fathers, like in fatherhood.
Mhm.
It's that sudden change for any parent when you go from it's just about you to then having somebody else to put in front of you and prioritize, and it's no longer about you.
Yeah.
Everything that you do is for them because it's your responsibility. You automatically have this bigger sense of responsibility that you can't just run away from. You have to handle business and take care of it.
And if
Because-
not you, then who?
Yeah, you don't want to be put in that position. Unfortunately, there is parents that put themselves in that position, but there's nothing good that comes out of that. And it's just a big change in responsibility level. I think when you're young too, like in your 19s and 20s, where we were, it was a big shift because we were just straight out of high school, kind of,
Hmm.
and then stepping into adulthood.
In a
And-
real way.
And now that we're like in our 30s, I look at people like when they're 25 and I'm like, now I get it when they will say, you're still a baby. I'm like, I'm 25, motherfucker. But
Hmm.
now I get it because I look at people that are 25. I'm like, oh, you're young, dude. You still got more to learn. But imagine like we were 20 when we had
I was
or
younger.
19, 20,
Mhm.
19, 20 when we had our first baby. So that was crazy. It
Mhm.
helped us mature, and we had no choice. We had to start changing things. I had to start working, and not that well. Yeah, I wasn't really working during that time. I'll just say it out loud. I was DJing and finding other ways to making money,
Mhm.
and it wasn't like the best foundation in
To have a
income.
child, no.
But we learned and we grew. So okay, let's see what else we got. I'm gonna throw you the next question, and I think we could wrap it up maybe with this one, and then maybe one more. They pick one out of the list.
There's not a lot of questions.
Okay, let's relate the next question closer to what we just answered. How do you see yourself? How what's the difference between when you were in your 20s to when you were in your 30s? Like, how has your mentality changed when you were in your 20s? Like, how was your mentality, and then how is your mentality now that you're in your 30s? Like, how do you see the world differently?
How do I see the world differently?
Like in your 20s, how would you view the world? What was your view on the world? What was your focus, your mindset, and then what has changed from your 20s to your 30s?
This is a hard test.
I'm gonna go first.
No, I want to do it. In my 20s, I was more worried about just getting out of the struggle and battling with just myself and who I was. I knew that I was a mother, but like, what else? And who else am I? And discovering who I want to be, what kind of grown up do I want to be? Because you're still a kid at that age. So,
Yep.
like, what kind of grown up do you want to be? And you have to think about, like, what kind of parent are you going to be? What kind of mother are you going to be? What kind of person are you going to be? What kind of wife are you going to be? It's kind of like not just who am I as a person, but it's like you have so many different roles and so many different hats. So who are you going to be? And it's a lot to kind of like, in 1 day, in 1 hour, tell you like, this is who I am. This is what I want to be. This is what I want to do. It takes kind of like, okay, no, I didn't like that, so I want to be like this. Or I definitely don't want to, how I was talked to when I was younger. I definitely don't want to talk to my kids like that, or my husband like that, or myself, talk to myself, down on myself. Now in my 30s, I feel like, okay, we're going somewhere. Like, thankfully, I did the work that I did in my 20s, and I understood what I understood. And now in my 30s, I'm able to live life a lot different, where I am more confident, and I'm more aware, and I understand, like, just like that I'm solid. I understand that I'm solid.
I think when it comes to going into your 20s from a teenager, there's a lot of stuff going on. You're shifting from a teenager in a sense to like an adult, a young adult. And I think all the things that you mentioned are all tied in. There's a lot going on. What are you going to do with yourself? What's your next step?
Mm-hmm.
You're living with your parents nowadays. Most 20-year-olds still live with their parents because it's hard as hell to move out on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And that's completely understandable. You're not really making too much money. You're trying to figure out what route you're going to take.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to learn yourself. And then a lot of 20-year-olds are still trying to have fun. They're not really trying to grow up yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in your 20s, a lot of people are really just trying to figure themselves out. And I think by the time you get into your 30s, you have a pretty good idea. And then for those that decided to not just go all out and just focusing on fun and kind of wasting your time, it's like once you reach your 30s, you start to be thankful. Like, thankfully, I didn't just have fun and wasted my time.
Right.
Thankfully, I was putting in some work somewhere and doing some things, working in within myself. Because by the time you get into your 30s, you're positioned a lot better than you would have been if you just stayed worrying about having fun or not focusing on really working on yourself. Now, if I were to give anybody advice in their 20s, I would say focus on yourself. Sure, have a little bit of fun, but keep the fun like at a fraction of like 20% in comparison of you learning, growing, and developing your mindset, so that by the time you're done with your 20s, you build something, you've worked on your mindset, and in your 30s, you're almost pretty well established where you're living decently. You're not struggling. You're not at your parents' house, at that point, you already build something.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there is a lot of people that in their 20s, they wasted it and they go into their 30s and they're a little behind.
Well,
So that kind of sucks for some people. So I think that's
Yeah.
the biggest difference is in your 20s, you're really trying to learn yourself and trying to figure things out. By the time you're in your 30s, everything just changes. Like your whole viewpoint on life just completely shifts. You see things differently and you start to think more about the future and how important it is what you're doing right now, how it's going to affect your future, because you see what you did in your 20s and your 30s, how it's affected you. And then how is it going to affect you on the next chapter? And not only that, the biggest thing is that when you're in your 20s, time feels like it's not going that fast. But then before you know, you're in your 30s and you're like, damn, my 20s just freaking flew by
Yeah.
so quick. So then when you're in your 30s, you're just like, man, I'm trying to use every bit of time. And that's kind of how I see my 30s. Is just like, I see like every day is so crucial. I'm like, I just got to get the most out of my days because these days are just flying by quick. And I don't want to feel like that when I get into my 40s. Like during my 30s, I want to be like, man, during my 30s, I went all in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be chilling a little bit more, indulging more of life. By the time I'm in my 40s, everything settles down and I'm all set. And I'll still keep working and developing, but by then it's like it's a whole different chapter. So I think we already kind of went through most of our questions. So that sums it up for today's episode. This is a Halloween special. Thank you guys for joining us. And again, this is Soul Trust Podcast. This is an exciting new chapter. We're just having fun and we're out here just showing up and showing out. So thank you guys for joining us on this special Halloween podcast. Peace out. Lates.
Come on.